Have you ever woken up one morning, looked in the mirror and thought, when did my vision start to feel different? Maybe the print on your favorite book seems smaller. Maybe bright lights at night now create a subtle glare. Or perhaps you've noticed that your eyes tire faster than they used to. Here's a surprising truth. Your eyes age faster than almost any other organ in your body. By the time you hit 60, the retina, the delicate, light-sensitive layer that captures every image you see, has already endured decades of oxidative stress, nutrient depletion, and micro-damage. And this isn't just about wearing reading glasses. This is about protecting the very cells that allow you to experience the world with clarity and depth. But here's the hopeful part. There is a simple natural seed rich in powerful carotenoids, antioxidants, and omega compounds that research shows can literally nourish your retina at the cellular level. Clinical studies have found it reduces the risk of age-related macular degeneration, the leading cause of vision loss in seniors, and it supports sharper, clearer sight well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Now, why does this matter so much? Because your eyesight isn't just about vision. It's about independence, confidence, and connection to the people and places you love. When vision fades, quality of life often fades with it. But when you protect your retina, you protect your freedom. Today, we're going to unpack exactly why the retina weakens with age, the science behind how certain nutrients protect it, and the hidden cause of vision decline after 60, seed you should add to your diet to defend your eyes naturally. I'll also give you a simple science-backed protocol, how much to eat, when, and the best way to absorb its eye-healing compounds. So, if you're over 60 or simply want to preserve your vision for decades to come, stay with me because what you'll learn today might just save your eyesight. Why vision declines after 60, oxidative stress, and retinal aging. We'll explore how constant exposure to blue light, UV rays, and metabolic waste creates oxidative damage in the retina, and why aging eyes lose their ability to self-repair. The hidden link between nutrition and retinal health. How specific nutrients, especially carotenoids like lutein and zeaxanthin, act as internal sunglasses, filtering harmful light and preserving macular integrity. The seed packed with retinal protective compounds will reveal the science behind this one seed, why it's rich in omega-3s, vitamin E, and antioxidants that directly nourish photoreceptor cells. The science of macular pigment density. Why it predicts your future vision, how boosting macular pigment through diet literally sharpens visual performance and protects against degeneration, timing and absorption, how to eat this seed for maximum eye benefits. Research-backed tips on when and how to consume it for optimal bioavailability and retinal uptake. Simple daily protocol to protect eyesight for decades. A practical, easy-to-follow routine that combines this seed with synergistic nutrients to preserve vision and even improve contrast sensitivity. From here, we'll take each of these 6 points and expand them into full science, rich engaging explanations. As you move through life, your eyes are constantly working. They're exposed to sunlight, artificial lighting, screens, and environmental pollutants every single day. Over the years, this relentless exposure leads to something called oxidative stress, tiny bursts of cellular damage caused by unstable molecules known as free radicals. Now, when you're younger, your eyes have a remarkable defense system. The retina is packed with antioxidants that neutralize these harmful molecules before they can do real damage. But here's the catch. After about age 60, this natural defense weakens. The antioxidant enzymes that once acted like a shield start to decline, and the retina becomes more vulnerable. Imagine the retina like a high-resolution camera sensor. It's thin, delicate, and how oxidative stress damages your retina designed to capture light perfectly. but over time, little scratches appear from accumulated oxidative damage, and these scratches begin to distort the clarity of your vision. This is why so many people notice subtle changes after 60, difficulty reading fine print, increased sensitivity to glare at night, or even mild blurriness in the center of their vision. What's really happening is that the photoreceptor cells in your retina, the ones that turn light into images, are struggling to keep up with the constant barrage of stress. And it's not just oxidative stress. There's also a drop in blood flow to the retina as we age. A study published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science found that retinal blood circulation decreases significantly after the 6th decade of life, meaning fewer nutrients and oxygen reach the cells that need them most. It's like trying to maintain a beautiful garden, but reducing the water supply you start to see withering over time. Have you noticed how after a long day, your eyes just feel tired in a way they didn't 20 years ago? That's a subtle sign that your retina is working harder than ever to compensate for this decline. But here's the hopeful part. Science now shows that certain nutrients, especially those found in specific seeds, can actually replenish the retina's natural defenses. They act like internal sunglasses, absorbing damaging light before it can harm your vision. In just a moment, we'll explore how nutrition becomes your most powerful tool to protect your eyes naturally, and why the food you eat literally determines the future clarity of your sight. Most people think of eyesight as something purely mechanical, like the lens of a camera wearing out with time, but here's the overlooked truth. Your retina is living tissue, and like every other part of your body, it depends on proper nutrition to function. What many don't realize is that the eye is actually one of the most metabolically active organs in your entire body. In fact, per unit of weight, the retina consumes more oxygen and nutrients than even your brain. Why? Because it's constantly converting light into electrical signals at lightning speed. That process requires a massive amount of energy, and with energy production comes oxidative byproducts. Now, here's where nutrition comes into play. Decades of research, including findings from the landmark ARD study, Age-Related Eye Disease Study, have shown that specific nutrients your macula desperately needs nutrients like lutein and zeaxanthin, two powerful carotenoids, accumulate in the macula, the central part of your retina. Responsible for sharp vision, think of them as internal filters shielding your eyes from high-energy blue light and reducing the oxidative stress that leads to macular degeneration. What's fascinating is that your body doesn't produce lutein or zeaxanthin on its own. The only way to get them is through diet. And this is why people who eat nutrient-dense foods, especially leafy greens and certain seeds, tend to have a thicker, more protective macular pigment. In simple terms, the color and clarity of your vision depend on the density of these pigments. But it's not just carotenoids. Omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA, are critical for retinal cell membranes. DHA makes up over 30% of the retina's structural fat, helping photoreceptor cells stay flexible and function properly. Without enough of it, visual signaling slows and the risk of degeneration climbs. A study published in JAMA Ophthalmology even showed that higher omega-3 intake was linked to a significantly lower risk of late-stage macular degeneration. Have you ever noticed how a diet rich in colorful, nutrient-dense foods just makes your energy and focus sharper? The same principle applies to your vision. What you feed your eyes today literally shapes how you'll see the world 10 years from now. So where can you get this powerful combination of carotenoids, omega-3s, and antioxidants in one simple natural food? This is where one humble yet potent seed stands out, a seed so rich in retinal protective compounds that it's now being called a functional food for vision longevity. Now, we'll reveal exactly which seed this is and why science says it could become your greatest ally in protecting your eyesight naturally. So, what is this powerful vision protective seed? It's the chia seed. Tiny, unassuming, yet packed with some of the most important nutrients your eyes crave as you age. Now, before you dismiss it as just another health food trend, let's look at the science. Chia seeds are one of the richest plant sources of alpha-linolenic acid, a precursor to omega-3 DHA, which is the primary structural fat in your retina. DHA helps photoreceptor cells maintain their integrity, ensuring that the signals your eyes send to your brain remain sharp and precise. When your retina lacks omega-3s, it's like trying to stream a high-definition movie over a weak internet connection. The picture becomes fuzzy and the system struggles, but omega-3s are just one piece of the puzzle. Chia seeds are also loaded with vitamin E, zinc, and plant-based antioxidants, all of which are essential for combating oxidative stress in the macula. In fact, research in Nutrients, the one seed that nourishes your retina journal, shows that vitamin E can reduce lipid peroxidation in retinal cells, slowing the damage that leads to age-related macular degeneration, AMD. And here's where chia seeds become truly unique. They contain plant polyphenols that act as natural anti-inflammatories. Chronic low-grade inflammation is another hidden driver of retinal aging, slowly degrading the macular pigment over decades. By lowering inflammation, chia seeds help preserve that pigment, which functions like an internal sunblock for your eyes. To make this even more compelling, chia seeds are rich in lutein, the very carotenoid that accumulates in your macula. A study in experimental eye research highlighted how increased lutein intake directly boosts macular pigment optical density, essentially thickening the natural protective layer of your retina. Think of it like adding an extra shield to the most delicate part of your vision system. Have you ever thought about how something as simple as a daily dietary habit could determine whether you'll be able to read, drive, and recognize faces with ease in your 80s? Chia seeds might seem small, but they offer a surprisingly comprehensive nutrient package for your eyes. And the best part, incorporating them is effortless. Just a few tablespoons daily can give your retina the building blocks it needs to resist oxidative stress, inflammation, and structural breakdown. Now, we'll go even deeper into the fascinating science of macular pigment density, and why it predicts the future of your vision better than any prescription lens ever could. If you've ever looked directly at someone's eyes and noticed that the very center of their iris seems to hold the most intensity, you're unknowingly focusing on the macula, the small central portion of the retina that gives you sharp, detailed vision. This is what allows you to read fine print, recognize faces, and see vibrant colors. But what's fascinating is that the health of your macula can actually be measured by something called macular pigment optical density, MPOD. And this single metric is one of the most powerful predictors of future visual clarity. Here's how it works. The macula is rich in two key pigments, lutein and zeaxanthin. Think of them as natural filters that absorb harmful high-energy blue light before it can damage sensitive retinal cells. The denser this pigment layer is, the more protection your eyes have. But with aging, and especially with a diet lacking these nutrients, the pigment thins, leaving the macula vulnerable to oxidative stress. A groundbreaking study published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science found that individuals with higher macular pigment density had significantly better visual performance even under glare conditions. In simpler terms, if your macula is well nourished, you'll notice less night glare, clearer contrast, and more vibrant colors. So, how do chia seeds fit into this picture? Remember, they're packed with lutein, vitamin E, and omega-3 precursors. the exact compounds your macula needs to maintain this protective pigment layer. By consuming them regularly, you're essentially thickening your macula's shield against light-induced damage. Have you ever experienced difficulty driving at night, macular pigment density, and future vision health because oncoming headlights feel blinding? That's a subtle sign that your macular pigment density might be thinning. But the hopeful part is that diet can rebuild it. In fact, a 12-week study in nutrition and metabolism showed that increasing dietary carotenoids significantly improved EMPOD, enhancing both glare recovery and contrast sensitivity in older adults. And here's something even more remarkable. Macular pigment doesn't just protect your eyes, it also benefits your brain. These same carotenoids accumulate in neural tissue supporting cognitive function. That means when you nourish your macula, you're also feeding your memory and mental clarity. So by boosting your macular pigment, you're not just preserving your ability to see, you're preserving your ability to think, focus, and stay independent. Now, knowing the power of this protective pigment, the next logical step is how do you ensure maximum absorption of these eye-saving nutrients from chia seeds? Timing, preparation, and food pairing can dramatically improve their bioavailability. And that's exactly what we'll uncover in the next section, how to eat chia seeds for maximum retinal benefits. Now that you know how powerful chia seeds can be for your vision, the next question is simple but critical. How do you eat them to get the most retinal protection? Because here's the truth, just sprinkling them randomly on food isn't enough. The way you prepare and time your intake affects how well your body absorbs these nutrients. First, let's talk about bioavailability. Chia seeds are rich in omega-3, ALA, and lutein, but these compounds are locked inside the seed's outer shell. If you eat them completely dry, many of these nutrients will simply pass through your digestive system without being fully absorbed. That's why hydration is key. When you soak chia seeds in water or plant-based milk for at least 20 minutes, they form a gel-like texture. This process softens the seed coat, making the nutrients more accessible for your gut to absorb. Second, pairing with healthy fats enhances absorption. Lutein and zeaxanthin are fat-soluble kenoids, meaning they dissolve in fat and are better absorbed alongside it. So if you add chia seeds to a smoothie, combine them with a source of healthy fat like avocado, almond butter, or even a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. This simple tweak can double or even triple the uptake of these retinal protective compounds. Timing also matters. Consuming chia seeds earlier in the day can provide sustained nutrient availability as your retina faces light exposure throughout the day. Think of it like giving your eyes an antioxidant shield before you even step outside. For some people, having a second small serving in the evening helps stabilize omega-3 levels overnight when cellular repair in the retina is most active. And here's another pro tip.